Marc Raimondi for ESPN, joined today by one of the best fighters in the world. How about this? Alexander Volkanovski, UFC featherweight champion, and he's trying to become the UFC lightweight champion in just a few days from now. Short notice fight, Islam Makhachev, UFC 294, Abu Dhabi. You're still in Australia. I imagine you're probably going to be traveling pretty soon to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go Sunday. We probably would have went a little bit earlier. Obviously, preparation. Yeah, we had a longer preparation, but I wanted to make sure my crucial sessions I can get in while I'm over here, and then we'll head over there because I didn't want to lose days traveling, and then because you lose a day traveling, and then obviously you don't want to train too hard coming straight off a plane as well. So you lose a couple of days there. So I thought I'll leave that maybe a couple of days later than I'd usually go, and yeah, because I usually adjust pretty much straight away anyway. So yeah, I know I'll make them adjustments pretty quick, and I just want to make sure I get my crucial training in. Obviously, with that short notice that I had.
So how did this fight come together? Because as of just a few days ago, Monday, Tuesday, it was Islam versus Charles Oliveira title fight, right? Oliveira gets a cut. I guess the UFC makes one phone call, and just tell me how that went down.
I don't even know. I didn't know it was a cut. I didn't know what was going on. I don't even think they knew if he was pulled out yet. I think they said something was going on. So I think they'll still go through the process to see if he was still going to be okay or not. When they talked to me, and we'll put it this way, I probably already said yes before they knew he was definitely out. Like that's how quick that whole thing pretty much went. Like obviously they're going to do their negotiations. But talk to me as obviously I was like, whew, all right. I guess we're doing it. I told my manager, you do your part. I'm calling the guys and we're getting ready for a fight. Like, you know what I mean? So that's sort of how it was. It's pretty crazy because I had no idea that, or I definitely wasn't expecting to be stepping in. I thought I was locked in on January. You know what I mean? That's why I tried to get in on earlier cards. I was pretty much begging, can I please fight sooner? But they said, look, we just can't do it. And I'm like far out. So I was doing my head in, I was like, man, like, you know what I mean? Like, I should be in camp, you know what I mean? Like I'm in my prime, I should be in camp. But now I need to wait. So like obviously trying to, be a dad, had a newborn and whatnot. And then this come and I'm like, it's meant to be, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? The fighting gods didn't want me to wait any longer. So we're going out there and we're doing our thing next week.
You had a hand injury coming out of the Yair Rodriguez fight in July.
Elbow.
What's that?
Elbow injury.
Elbow injury.
So I had an elbow surgery.
That's right.
And yeah, so it was just one of the surgeries where they just got a few holes in there, get a few like whatever you want to call it. Like they just had to get a heap of things out there, shave some bones and whatnot. And yeah, so like I was always going to try, like, because I thought if they locked me in for this fight, I was like going to try and make it. And then it got to a point where I was like, oh, yeah, maybe it wasn't ideal, like, because the recovery, rehab went a bit longer than we expected. But I've still been able to train. Mate, I think I know I was training or I was wrestling. I remember UFC Sydney, I did some wrestling with Frank Hickman when he was there. So that was my first week of wrestling. So I've been training here and there since then. So it's not like I haven't been doing anything. I've been doing rehab. I've been sparring for at least 4 weeks now. I think about 4 weeks. So yeah, so it's again, obviously not like how I usually would. Again, I've got a newborn and been on holidays and whatnot, but I have been in the gym. I'm not. It's not like I'm going in with absolutely no training. That'd be impossible for me to do. I would completely do my head in if I didn't train. So I always need to be doing at least something, a little bit in the gym. And I'm lucky enough that I am that guy that's always trying to show up. At least as much as he can, even when he's busy, because you never know when things like this might pop up.
It's 11 days notice, 10 days notice, whatever you want to call it. And it's against Islam Makhachev. It's not just against anybody. I think a lot of people have you and him number one and number two and number one pound for pound in the world. Why'd you take this fight? Why? This is a pretty big risk going against an extremely, extremely tough guy.
Yeah, man, like as I've been saying, man, like high risk, high reward. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's just how it is. It is a crazy thing to do. Obviously, a lot of people are looking at it. I go out there, you're going out underdone. You lose, you never get that lightweight shot against Islam again. Like, that whole rivalry's over, and look, I get it. I get what people are trying to say. But What if I go out there and win like I plan on doing? I go, that's when you shock the world. That's when you're doing things. You know, me stepping up doing this, I'm already doing things that people in my position would never do. And I'm not knocking them for that. I love this and I needed this. You know what I mean? This excites me. And I think when I'm excited like this, I think I'm a dangerous man when I'm this excited and this fresh, mentally and physically. I'm going to go in with no nigglies, no mental fatigue or physical fatigue. I'm going in fresh and ready to shock the world. So, yeah, can't wait.
I've seen a few memes over the last 48 hours. I think maybe you've shared a couple of them, and they have to do with your bravery, let's say. It is another way of saying that you're a brave guy. Have you seen these memes?
I've seen some things. But where do you go? Look at this one here. Shout out CMBT. Stay brave.
Hey, how about that?
Stay brave. See? How about that? Yeah. No, I've seen some. Are you going to talk about the wheelbarrow with the?
Yeah, look, it's ESPN, Alex.
It's
It's Disney. You know, I didn't want to go into that detail, but that
well,
is.
I said cojones, even though that's just a different language. Yeah. All right. So yeah, but sorry about that.
No, it's all good. You've seen that, and what do you think
yeah.
of these memes?
I mean, you like literally led me straight into that, didn't you? That's where you're taking me.
I needed you to say it, not me. Come on, man.
Okay, all right. So it's not all right as long as we don't get in trouble. But yeah, man. Look, again, people talk it, but who actually goes out there? You know, who walks it? Who walks a walk? I know the quotes that everyone always says. You know, your memes that you're always going to see, but yeah, be about it.
I'm at the UFC Apex, as you can see behind me right now. And I just spoke with Hunter Campbell, UFC chief business officer, and he told me that he had dinner with you and your manager Ash back at UFC Sydney just a few weeks ago in September. And the conversation that you guys had really stuck with him. And it's one of the things that made him want to reach out to you to offer you this fight. Do you remember that conversation with him?
Yeah. This was in UFC Sydney.
Yep. What did you say? Like, it made an impression on him. He told me that you said something along the lines of, hey, something comes up with this fight, I'm in.
Oh man, like I always put the feelers out like that. I'm going to say it. Like I didn't think it was going to actually happen. I'll be honest, but I mean, I told him because look, that's where we had the talk, and he told me, look, we just can't do anything any earlier than January, which I was disappointed. I think he could see my disappointment, and I'm like, well, like if anything happens, make sure you hit me up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't leave me hanging because you never know. And then he did. He goes, oh, well, look, I think I'll be doing Alex a disservice if I don't ask him. So that's why he made sure he asked me, and I said yes. So yeah, again, it's he knows what I'm about. Again, like you got to remember, he gets to talk to fighters behind the cameras and things like that. You know what I mean? Everyone's going to play hardball. Everyone's going to say stuff, say the right things in front of a camera, but then say something completely different when it comes to actually getting in there and doing their thing. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I guess he knows. Like, I'm pretty easy to work with. Obviously, we're going to make sure we're doing our part to capitalize on this position, but at the same time, this is a massive opportunity. Like that's something that they said to me. Obviously, in negotiations, they're going to be like, oh, this is perfect, exactly what you want. It's like, oh no, there's a lot on the line for me too. But I guess he knows me too well. He knows that I'm the type of guy that high risk, high reward. You know what I mean? So, I guess it's easy to play into my ego. But I mean, I was always as soon as I heard, I literally told my manager. He literally when he rang me, he's like, I don't know if I already told you this, but he's like, oh, look, I don't know. Yeah, I know this isn't going to happen, but I just got to tell you anyway. I just got to do my part. Things happen, blah, 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 blah. What do you reckon? I'm like, ah. And then then I pretty much said, I reckon we pretty much do it. And then he's like, okay, well, all right, let's see what we can do. So it was funny. It was a funny conversation. Man, it's crazy. This was just a couple of days ago. I'm still like, what? Like, so excited and like just like a kid in a candy store, like with this whole situation. I don't know how I'm thriving so much in this. A lot of people probably would be doing their head in, but I'm absolutely loving it.
So what like you got the call on, I think, Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure if what that was in Australia, maybe even Wednesday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
What is the next 10 days look like for you? I mean, how are you getting ready? I think you were training with Craig Jones today.
Yep. Well, that's it. Obviously, I found that out, and literally that afternoon, yeah, just hit the boys up here at the gym, freestyle fighter gym, and yeah, just the boys just we rallied the troops, and they got me into camp. Like literally, a couple of hours after I was on the phone, I was doing a fight simulator. I didn't waste any time, and I'm lucky enough to have that type of team around me that literally jumped ship. Like you said, Craig Jones was on the next flight available. He was midnight when I talked. Cole told him what happened, and he booked the flight before he went to bed. Woke up and went to the airport. Literally, and he just got home from being away. He already just did like 30 something hours traveling because he's been away in like Bali doing all that. Got home to his wife, and then I literally get that phone call, and then he jumped. And same with Frank. Frank was literally the flight. We could have got a flight that night. So he was there waiting, and then just had a bit of problem with like the ESTA or visa or something like that. So they postponed the travel. But he's here today as
Craig was
well.
coming from the U.S.
Craig come from Austin. Yeah,
right, from Texas, and Frank was.
So he just arrived in Austin that night, and then left Austin the next day.
That's crazy. And
Yeah.
Frank was in Thailand, I assume.
Frank was in Thailand. Yeah.
Got it.
I mean,
So
everyone just literally, from my nutritionist to people that do my meals, like athletes nutrition. That I literally the next morning I had my diet. My diet, like my nutritionist had meals ready from the athlete's nutrition at my doorstep on the Wednesday. So literally everyone just went, okay, let's go. And everyone's traveling to Abu Dhabi. We've got our team going over there with all this little notice. It just shows you the team support I have behind me.
You fought Islam back in February.
We're all excited.
I could tell. You fought Islam in February, and it was an incredibly close fight. And it was about as elite as far as like technique, I think, that you'll ever see in the UFC. Having been in there with him, what did you learn, and how can you apply that to this fight?
I learned a lot. I mean, obviously we can't give too much away, but I learned a lot. Well, we all learned, even though I backed myself for getting back up and whatnot, but I learned that, and I'm so much better in these positions now than I was back then. You know what I mean? So I learned a lot from that, and that gives me a lot of confidence now. Yeah, I didn't get that long camp, but put it this way, I'm fit enough, and no one's going to hold me down. So he's going to have to stand and bang with me. And yeah, again, I'm coming for that finish. I can't wait to go out there and shock the world. This is my time. As I just said earlier, right now, the world is literally spinning for me. You know what I mean? Like this is my world right now, and everybody's just a part of it. That's how I feel right now.
I saw something that you said on your YouTube about how it's almost like a win-win for you, and maybe even a lose-lose for him in some cases.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say win-win. Like, I know you want to put the pressure on him and be like, let him be like going, at the same time, obviously, here I am. We're talking about legacy. My legacy is still going to take a big hit if I was to lose. You know what I mean? It's not like it's all right if I lose. That's not how I'm going into this. It's not. I never get that rematch ever again. I never get that lightweight title probably ever again. You know what I mean? This is a lot for me. When we're talking. Like I'm putting legacy on the line here, but I'm backing myself. I mean, I'm putting it on the line, but at the same time, yeah, my legacy, if we've lost, does take a big hit. But can you imagine what it does to my legacy when I get my hand raised? And that's exactly what's going to happen. And I believe in myself, and I can't wait to go out there and shock the world and just keep doing things that people aren't doing. So, you know what I mean? Again, I thrive in these situations, and I'm glad that this opportunity came about because, again, I'm the right man for the job.
Last thing, there's no way that you can turn around in January and fight Ilia Topuria as planned, right?
Yeah. A lot of people are saying that. I don't see how they think that I wouldn't do that. Well, how long is it? It's like over 3 months away, isn't it? What is it? Well,
yeah,
October,
like
November, November, December, January. Yeah, 3 months. That's what I want to fight every 3 months. I didn't even have to do a camp. So I'm not, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm fresh mentally and physically going into this camp, going into this fight. So straight after it, you know what I mean? Enjoy this crazy victory. This enjoy me shocking the world. Maybe for a week or two, then we get back to business.
Alex, thank you so much, man. Good luck with your travels out to Abu Dhabi. Again, UFC 294. Makhachev, Volkanovski 2, short notice. Should be fantastic. I really appreciate it, man.